At the beginning of the film, we hear about the Boers and Churchill. Winston Churchill was a secretary, that in Danish means Minister of the Colonies, in 1921, and before that he was Secretary for the War Office in 1920, that is, and this is when the film is supposed to be happening. The Boers I also mentioned. Now, the Boers, they are the Dutch in South Africa, and they were treated brutally by the British. And the reason that they are mentioned in this film is to have a comparison to what happens to the Boers and what happened to the Irish. The first concentration camp in the world, camps in the world, were set up by the British in South Africa to eradicate the Boers, or to get rid of the Boers. In the film, some of the British black and tan soldiers talk about World War I. Now, the British black and tan soldiers, this is interesting, this name, black and tan, this was a name that was given to the British soldiers because for some reason, or somehow, it was difficult to find out were they soldiers or were they police. Because in Britain, because everything went really, really quick, they didn't say, or they didn't have time to find out, are we going to send an army or are we going to send police to control Ireland? So they ended up becoming a mixture of policemen and soldiers, and then they were called the Black and Tans by the Irish. Now, in the film, some of these Black and Tans, they talk about World War I, and it is true that a large number of the soldiers who participated in the Anglo-Irish War had also been soldiers during World War I. Now, when they came back to Britain, some did not have jobs and joined this new war against Ireland. This was the only solution for them to earn a living at the time. Now, so that means some of these soldiers, they didn't like being in Ireland. They only did it because they needed a job. They didn't like the things that they saw in Ireland, and also they thought it was too harsh what the British were doing. So you can't say that all British soldiers were bad. Now, questions to consider in the film. What I want you to look for in the film is, what is the significance of the green hills and the subtle or soft landscape colors, almost like a painting in the film, whenever we see the Irish soldiers or the Irish people? There's a certain painting-like look of the film. And then note how the Irish and the Brits are portrayed and what techniques are used for that effect.